The University of Texas Pan American, with its palm-studded main campus in Edinburgh and a developing center in Brownsville, is a vibrant force in a growing community. Founded in 1927, Pan American College joined the Texas state system in 1963 and became Pan American University in 1971. It opened its Brownsville Center in 1973. On September 1, 1989, Pan American University was merged with the University of Texas system. The University of Texas system is now comprised of 14 major components. In chronological order, the University of Texas system consists of the University of Texas at Austin, the University of Texas Medical Branch at Galveston, the University of Texas at El Paso, the University of Texas Health Science Center at Houston, the University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center, the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center at Dallas, the University of Texas at Arlington, the University of Texas Health Science Center at San Antonio, the University of Texas at Dallas, the University of Texas of the Permian Basin, the University of Texas at San Antonio, along with its Institute of Texan Cultures. The University of Texas Health Center at Tyler, the University of Texas at Tyler. And now, the University of Texas Pan American, with its center at Brownsville and its main campus in Edinburgh, the University of Texas Pan American.
The University of Texas system is, of course, very pleased and proud to have Pan American University join up. From our point of view, from the point of view of the UT system, there are several important advantages to having Pan American University be a member. One is that South Texas is the fastest growing region of the state in terms of population, and for the University of Texas system not to be involved in that growth somehow is wrong. So we're happy to be involved, and it's important there. Second, we have a window to Mexico there. Probably the most important issue in foreign policy that the United States will have to deal with in the next 10 years is what happens in Mexico. And for the University of Texas system to be right there on that border is very, very important. And most important of all, I think, the opportunity for the university to participate in the development and the enhancement of educational opportunities for our largest minority group, the folks with a Hispanic heritage. I think that's really a major new function that we'll be undertaking, and that's terribly important.
UT Pan American is the fastest growing university in the state, serving one of the fastest growing regions in the nation. Some 13,000 students currently attend classes in Edinburgh and Brownsville. If the recent rate of growth is maintained at even half the pace of the last 3 years, there'll be close to 20,000 students enrolled by the year 2000. 96% of these students come from the Rio Grande Valley. More than half of the high school graduates from the valley who go to college attend UT Pan American. Most students are from the first generation in their families to attend college.
My parents, they've been farm workers all their lives, and so have I. We've been working, working in the fields, try to help one another, support one another. So, then my parents sacrificing many things so, me and my brothers can go to school. And now I'm given the opportunity to go to college, and I'm a sophomore, and I don't want everything they did for me all throughout their lives, sacrificing everything, to go down in vain.
Well, my parents just have high school degrees, and I've gotten my bachelor's degree from Pan American University, and now that it's UT, I'd like to get my MBA, and I think that will really help me when I go out looking for a job.
It is not uncommon for students, upon graduation from college, to triple their earning power when compared to that of their parents. There is currently a strong voice in the Valley to make sure that students get this opportunity.
I would like to continue to be effective and to play a big part in helping to recruit these young people to continue their education. I believe that this is the only way that they're going to be able to improve the quality of their lives and to have a good future and to offer opportunities for their children. Certainly, Pan American in Edinburgh and Pan American at Brownsville, with the assistance of the University of Texas system, will be able to open these doors and to give them the opportunity that they want and that they deserve.
It is easy to see why UT Pan American has been and will continue to be an important resource for the students it serves. These students, along with their faculty and associated academic programs, provide an important catalyst for economic development, healthcare improvement, and cultural activities for the lower Rio Grande Valley. These same students and faculty are quick to note that all is not work at UT Pan American. Yearly, the Bronx field a nationally recognized baseball team, as well as highly regarded basketball, tennis, and track programs. Academically, UT Pan American is a university on the move. To expand an already strong curriculum, bachelor degree offerings are being added in a number of areas. In addition, master's and doctoral programs are being expanded to meet professional needs in such diverse fields as public administration, theater, international business, and education. A particularly unique resource of UT Pan American is the Coastal Studies Lab on South Padre Island.
The University of Texas Pan American Coastal Studies Laboratory is located in East La Blanca County Park. That's at the southernmost tip of South Padre Island. Our research focuses on the Laguna Madre and the Texas Barrier Islands themselves. We're interested in the effects of various kinds of disturbances to the island and the community ecology of the fishes and the macrocrustaceans of the Laguna Madre.
The increased emphasis on professional degrees and basic research will have a number of positive effects.
So we're looking at three dimensions. One is addressing the problems of the region. Secondly, expanding the faculty personnel needs. And thirdly, developing the opportunities for students to obtain research assistantships that then they can gain the experience necessary for conducting research and going out into the job market much more prepared, better prepared than we have been able to do so in the past.
As professional training increases in the Valley, the local community stands to gain a great deal.
A lot of the students will have the luxury of graduating, getting their master's, getting their doctorate from the University of Texas Pan American and stay in this area where they want to stay. The industry that are looking at the area know this, and of course it can't be anything but a plus for South Texas.
The state legislature, in its 1989 regular session, approved funds approaching $10 million to expand a wide range of innovative programs with immediate implications for the Valley. Over $2 million were set aside to fund Texas Centers for Economic Enterprise and Development all along the Texas-Mexico border. This program, known as SEED, has already been a strong stimulus to business in the Valley.
In the past 2.5 years, we've provided direct assistance to over 2,000 businesses in the Valley, and to best of our estimate, that's contributed to the creation and or retention of about 700 jobs. In addition to that, we've worked with about 30 businesses in developing their business plans and helping them prepare their presentation to banks to secure financing either to expand their facility or start up. And we've been able to help those 30-odd businesses get over $4 million in capital from local sources. And this in itself has created 250 new jobs.
The SEED program finds its roots in a strong curriculum and a developing doctoral program in international business.
First of all, when a student elects to study business at the UT Pan American University, they're already opting for a high-quality program because our programs are already accredited by the American Assembly of Collegiate Schools of Business. That accrediting agency is the sole accrediting body for business schools in the country, and only about 16% of all the business programs in the country are accredited. That accreditation is not won easily, and we've had to struggle to achieve it. With the merger with UT system, we think that that accreditation can only be enhanced, that we will have even greater opportunity to provide a higher education, higher quality education for our students with the resources and the support that the system can bring to us.
The state legislature also approved $1.5 million to support the efforts of the engineering faculty at UT Pan American. Students in the Valley are the clear winners.
In 1989, we'll have 35 scholarships available for freshmen, and again, for freshmen in 1990, we'll have 35 new scholarships available. This not only helps our department by increasing the number of good, qualified students in the department, but it also helps the students in South Texas.
$3 million were made available for programs in nursing and other health-related areas. Through existing programs at UT Pan American and system-wide resources, these monies are already being put to use.
The UT system is already helping, and I think that the merger just means that we will have additional resources that will be available to us. At the present time, they are collaborating in the development of the generic bachelor's degree in nursing and also in the development of the master's degree in nursing courses. Now, for the future, I see that that other resources that are available to the UT system will enhance our abilities to implement additional programs, the ones that I mentioned to you: physical therapy, occupational therapy, medical record administration, or health information systems, as that is referred to now, and also healthcare management or healthcare administration.
These are exciting times for those involved in higher education in the lower Rio Grande Valley.
With the growth of population in our area and the predictions of the continued growth, we expect that the programs at Brownsville and Pan American in Edinburgh will be of significant assistance to the citizens here, our students, to the business and industry, and also providing the kinds of career development for our students that they would not otherwise have.
Ever since the first talks about a possible merger with the UT system, there was an excitement in our student body. That was also reflected in the community. There was an expectation that we will have new educational opportunities, and this opportunity will develop into new economic development for the Rio Grande Valley. And for our students, the new degree with the UT system will open new doors. They will have a degree that is a lot more marketable, and they will be able to go other places that in the past were not possible.
As we move toward the 21st century, students at the University of Texas Pan American and the University of Texas Pan American at Brownsville are being prepared for careers of leadership. We are all most fortunate beneficiaries of the University of Texas Pan American, a vibrant force in a growing community filled with challenge and opportunities.
There's no question that this merger is looked upon within my own colleagues as the greatest thing that's happened to education in South Texas. There's no question of potential that this merger can have. There's no question that this is the impetus that will give this community to get totally behind higher education so that we can end with a product that we can be awfully proud of, because what the school produces is at the level of excellence.
If the word fire represents the courage of the various people who have made the Rio Grande Valley their home, and if the word moon represents their dreams and aspirations, then Fire in the Moon expresses the human qualities which have made our corner of the earth the Magic Valley. That introduction to a play called Fire in the Moon was written by a Pan American College professor in 1958. Yet it still describes the quality of the people who shape the direction of the university today, 60 years after its inception as Edinburgh College. The proposal to create a junior college in Edinburgh originated with H.C. Baker, superintendent of the Edinburgh Independent School District in the late 1920s. In September of 1927, Edinburgh College registered its first 196 students. The nucleus of the college was a cluster of buildings which included the administration building, the college auditorium, and several other buildings near the corner of McIntyre and 8th Streets. A faculty of 13 full-time and 11 part-time instructors taught more than 100 courses in fields ranging from business administration and engineering to Latin and zoology. Included in the first class to complete the two-year curriculum were Carmen de la Viña Avila, Ruth Tarpley Flanagan, and Janet Anderson Mangum.
My first year, I rode in a Model T Ford with a group of students from Mission, and we had fun. The second year, the students from Mission did not come here anymore, so I rode my horse to where I could catch the Independent School District's bus. I think I rode the horse about 3 miles.
I lived in Weslaco, and I drove in every day, and I had 3 others from Weslaco who came with me. Most of the teachers taught in high school also, and we had the same rooms in many cases. But this part right here was mainly for the college. And we had science buildings back in the back, and the same rooms were used for high school. And we often had the same teachers.
Sports were a regular part of student life. Football, baseball, basketball, and other sports were supported by a group called the Razzers, who, according to a 1929 yearbook, were formed as a result of a conscientious desire on the part of the boys of the college to aid in the creation of a school spirit. Other activities included the publishing of a school newspaper called The Scotchman and a yearbook called The Midlothian. The only music organizations associated with the college were a small band and a glee club, both directed by George Hurt. In 1930, Baker was replaced by H.U. Miles in the dual position of superintendent of the school district and president of the college. 1 year later, R.P. Ward was named to this top spot. For the next 30 years, Ward and his vice president, H.A. Hodges, would lead the college through its leanest years to a period of growth that would shape the decades to come.
Well, I am proud of it because I came down here not thinking I was going to stay at all. I thought maybe I'd be here a year or two and move on. But I found it such a challenging situation. There were so many young people I met who were so desperately in need of an opportunity that I felt a challenge to try to help to develop a school who would meet this challenge that was offered by particularly these more ambitious and brighter. Now, I don't mean to say that there are not many students who are not outstanding students, but who profit a great deal from the college, and it's extremely worthwhile to be able to help them. But particularly, I was always attracted by the people who were desperately ambitious to achieve at a higher level, who were willing to work hard, and I wanted to give them an opportunity so they could work as hard as they wanted to and go as fast as they wanted to. And while in the years that I've been here, I've received some rather flattering offers to go elsewhere. I always felt like, well, I'm doing things here. I don't know whether I get the same opportunity elsewhere or not.
By 1933, the college became known as Edinburgh Junior College and was feeling the effects of the Great Depression. The number of faculty members decreased and salaries were cut. The majority of students lived at home. For others and for faculty, rooms were available at the faculty club and in private residences for $8 to $12 a month. Even so, a few PhDs began to arrive at the college, Among them in 1935 was Dr. J. Lell Elliott, who is still with the university today.
Of course, being a junior college, our students consisted of some students who did not intend to go further than the courses they'd taken at the junior college. But of course, we had many students who were planning on transferring at the end of their freshman or sophomore year to one of the schools upstate. Our whole science division of chemistry and mathematics and physics developed a pretty good reputation with the schools upstate, that we were doing a good job of teaching them the basic material in those 2 years to run a good engineering program when they got up there. We're proud of that kind of reputation, and I think in a sense we have kept the reputation during all our expansion.
National Honorary Society chapters were organized at the college in 1936 and 1937. The Journalism Club sponsored a bi-weekly paper called The Beacon, and in 1947 resumed publication of the annual El Bronco, which had been suspended during the Depression and World War II. Other student organizations included a drama club called the Campus Players and a host and hostess club. In 1938, a small group of people led by Mrs. Ella Hodges, wife of Dean Hodges, organized the Cultural Arts Incorporated program. Each year for about 20 years, 4 to 6 of the world's premier performers and speakers appeared at the college auditorium. They would arrive on the 6:30 a.m. train from San Antonio and were housed at the faculty club. Operatic stars such as Lily Pons and Lawrence Tibbett and instrumentalists such as Jose Iturbe performed for the local community.
Cultural arts was financed by itself. We sold season tickets. The college contributed by paying for all students who wanted to go half the price of a ticket. And we started out and finished, I think, charging just $5 for a season ticket in those days. And that meant the students just paid $2.50, the college paid $2.50 for every student who wanted to go. Then we sold tickets outside to citizens of the town and of the valley. So we'd raise enough money to have the capacity just as full as that old auditorium over there could hold.
The return of R.P. Ward from military service brought renewed growth to Edinburgh Junior College. By 1948, Ward successfully raised the status of the school to regional college and purchased the 5 buildings in which classes were held. The wave of post-war enrollment continued to grow into the 1950s, prompting the library to be expanded, a student union to be constructed, and a bus garage to be converted into a gymnasium. A drill team pep squad organized by L.A. Youngman in 1946 provided support for the renewed interest in athletic competition. By 1948, the college became a member of the Texas Junior College Conference, competing in football, baseball, track, tennis, golf, and basketball. Although football had been played at the college since 1927, the last season ever for the Broncos was played in 1952. Other sports remained, and with the 1952 change to a 4-year institution, the college joined competition in the Big State Athletic Conference with teams from St. Mary's and Southwestern colleges. In 1952, Edinburgh Junior College separated from the public school district and was renamed Pan American College. A growing student body now had senior-level courses and 14 student organizations, including the Future Business Leaders of America and the Bronc Boosters, sponsors of the Bronco Day celebration. Students enjoyed the Joe and Jane dance, in which admission charge was determined by the size of one's waist. In the following year, Pan American Days was initiated. The growth in enrollment, faculty, and staff again brought the need for expanded facilities. Thus, in 1955, the library was enlarged and a field house was built on a plot of land that would soon become the new campus.
When they got more land, which was given to them by the city of Edinburgh, they built the first student center building, which is the area of the cafeteria and the snack bar now. At that time, it included the bookstore and a student lounge and a cafeteria. And then also they built a library, which is now the old library, the one-story library building. And the physical science building, which was then called the engineering building. They were hoping to have an engineering school at some time.
In 1959, R.P. Ward left behind his 30-year legacy as probably the greatest leader the college had known. He was replaced the following year by Dr. Ralph Schilling, the college's 4th president. Under Dr. Schilling's leadership, the college moved to the present campus and enjoyed over 30 student organizations, including numerous service and study clubs and a well-organized student government. Pan American Days brought about many festivities and guest speakers, such as the Ambassador of Guatemala. Students selected their Bronco King and Queen, Ugly Man and Cutest Pan, and Club Sweethearts. Freshmen were still called Fish and wore green beanies. In 1961, the Broncos captured big state conference championships in basketball, tennis, and track. It was the 7th consecutive championship for the tennis team, who also went on to capture the NAIA championship. By 1965, the college achieved full status as a senior state college, and construction became the key word for the next years. A 2-phase building program began with construction following a pattern of clustering buildings around a central courtyard called the Village Concept. Conduits for heating and air conditioning were built into a mile-long covered walkway, which became the organizer of the master plan for the new campus. Students became involved in a growing number of Greek fraternities and sororities and were entertained by the newly organized College Center Board. In 1971, the college was granted university status and took on its present name, Pan American University. Continued expansion made the campus a maze of bricks and bulldozers. With the completion of the Learning Resource Center in 1978, the emphasis of the university shifted from physical growth to academic growth. The curriculum had become increasingly diversified, and the university now offered degrees in a total of 40 disciplines, including Masters of Arts, Science, and Education. In 1981, Miguel Nevares became the 5th president of Pan American, vowing to raise academic standards and maintain open admissions. The College of Arts and Sciences was formed, and by 1985, the School of Business and the nursing program were both accredited. In addition, the university began to broaden the scope of its financial resources. The position of Vice President for Institutional Advancement was created, and in 1987, a $5.6 million capital campaign drive is being led by Adrian Coleman. Today, Pan American University boasts a combined enrollment of more than 10,000 students. 60 years of growth continue a tradition of serving students and community in the Rio Grande Valley.
A good reason for Pan American to continue to exist and to grow, I think I'm going to refer to my own personal experience in that I had to leave the Valley to get my bachelor's, my master's, and my doctoral. And I think many people from the Valley are still having to do that, even with Pan American still trying to serve their needs. What we need to do at Pan American is to develop mostly our undergraduate program, but ideally develop the graduate and professional program so that many of our students don't have to leave home and have the opportunity to get into a more diversified fields. And research has shown that where the students do their graduate work, for the most part, they will stay in that area, and that will also contribute to the development of the area.